Performers Pod is presented by Blue Movie PR. Your brand is more than just content, it's an experience. At Blue Movie PR, adult entertainment talent is supported with public relations that respect both the art and the person behind it. Led by Jim Steele, Blue Movie PR builds compelling narratives that connect performers with new audiences and helps solidify long-term legacy. With a boutique talent first oriented approach and tiered pricing designed to meet creators at every stage of their career, Blue Movie PR is focused on entirely building your success. Let's tell your story together. And welcome everyone to a special AVN Week episode of the Performers Pod. I'm Chelsea Poe, and here I am today with 2026 AVN Award nominee Codi Vore. Welcome to my podcast.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have you on. I feel like I've known of you for so long in porn. I feel
Oh,
like you've always kind of like been in similar circles. First off, congrats on your nominations. You're up for some really big ones. You're up for Best Supporting
thank you.
Actress, Best Foursome and Orgy Scene. Hell yeah. And you're in the smash hit Escape from Conversion Camp, which is so amazing. It's like such a cool
It
concept. The 80s vibe.
was
Love
really
it.
fun. Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
yeah,
great.
congrats. You've had a crazy year. Like supporting actress, that's a major like
Thank you. It's
award to be nominated for.
definitely the biggest award I've ever been nominated for. I've had one, maybe two other AVN nominations before this, and one of them
Okay.
was for best screenplay, that I had written for Pure Taboo, and the other one was for most outrageous sex scene, which was like 10 years ago.
Oh my
So
God. So
maybe,
you're,
okay, maybe 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I don't know.
but like in porn years, that's like a million years. Like it's
Yeah, it's a million
crazy.
years ago, and so this is definitely the biggest award season for me that I have ever had.
Oh my God, that's amazing. How long have you been into porn?
So I started about actually almost exactly 10 years ago. I'm coming up on my 10-year anniversary,
Congrats.
2016. At least I think, yeah, I think so. That's right. 2016, that I started, and I got into it with like camming and clip
Hmm.
making, and I did that for a while before I started shooting for Scoreland, and then that kind of took me into mainstream porn. But I still do all of the things.
It has to be like such a rewarding feeling like 10 years in that you're having this like big breakthrough moment now that like I feel like there's so many of these tropes about porn where it's like, oh, once you're in so long, you've kind of peaked or whatever, and that you're able
Hmm.
to, have this like really monumental year around the 10-year mark. Like that's
Yeah, it's really cool. I'm really excited about it. I feel like really blessed to be recognized in that way. I never really anticipated being recognized in that way. I so I definitely didn't intend to be doing mainstream when I got into it, and but yeah, I guess I haven't really been thinking about how it is really like the 10-year mark for me. So yeah, that's really exciting. It's really cool.
yeah, if nothing else, this podcast is a place for me just to hype porn performers. I mean, like what you're doing is so special and like
Thank
so
you.
meaningful. Like as well as like
Thank
being in
you.
the industry, I just genuinely love porn and like this whole world of AVN. Like I'm the girl who's going back to like watch the ones from the 80s and being like, well, that's what everyone was wearing then, and like that's what porn was.
I
Um,
love it.
yeah,
I
I
love
love
watching some old porn every now and then.
I love it so much. I'm still like such a sucker for like the nostalgia of like the mid 2000s alt porn wave. Like Stoya
Mm,
Sasha Grey is still like my peak of porn where I'm just like, wow, you were doing that at like 18 years old and like doing all this crazy stuff, you know?
super cool.
So, you got into camming first. Was that like a pretty
Yes.
organic transition for you? I also started in camming, and for me it felt like, oh, I can do this in my bedroom. So going on set for the first time was didn't feel like that big of a jump.
Yeah, it was like, I think Scoreland made it kind of easy because they sort of intentionally scout people who are new. Like
Hmm.
that's kind of their MO, and so they got me back when I was when I was dating somebody and I wasn't allowed to do anything with
Oh my God.
men, you know what I mean? So it was
Yeah.
like I started doing solo stuff. Like that was my first time having like my makeup done and my hair done and we took pictures. And Scoreland is all about photos. So it was mostly photos with like a little bit of a video element. So it definitely like eased me into doing mainstream because I did have that experience with solo before doing hardcore. Um, but yeah, no, well, so actually, the very first hardcore thing that I ever did was for Wood Rocket.
Oh yeah.
And it was yeah, it was the Jurassic World parody, Jurassic Wood, and I actually auditioned for that one. I had to send in an audition tape. Um, and it was my first hardcore scene for a studio, and I was really excited for that to be my first hardcore because I was a Velociraptor. That's the one that got nominated for most outrageous sex scene.
I can
Um,
see why. That makes sense.
yeah, and that's why I'm like I can't even remember when it was because, like I said, it was my first hardcore scene. So pretty exciting, pretty exciting one. And then from there, yeah, just been it was pretty easy. And just camming is see, okay, I started as a cam model and like I started during that MFC cam girl craze,
Hmm.
but truthfully, I've always been a clip girl.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
for
I
real.
I I I feel like within like the online sex work space, I've always really most connected with fetish creators, like
Hmm.
fetish clip makers and stuff like that. And um even though I do more mainstream porn and I think that's where people know me from, um I do feel like my fetish stuff is kind of like my like that's my clique. You,
Yeah,
you
like
know?
I know you're like doing mainstream, but like I've always viewed you, I'm like you're also like you like the weird shit. Like you're
Yeah.
like kink adjacent for sure. I can feel that.
Yeah, and I really fuck with like making clips and I'm a clips for sale like type model. I
Yeah.
that's clips for sale many vids have always been my main spaces. And so even though I say I was a cam model, I did not cam that much. I cammed a lot actually, but like that wasn't my that wasn't my actual space. But yeah, so and I think every time I work with a mainstream performer who comes from fetish porn, I'm always like, oh yeah, you're gonna be
Yeah.
great. Like we're gonna do this so well because fetish performers are so quick on their feet and like really good at dirty talk and coming up with things on the fly, improvising, all that. It's just really good.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting when like those worlds start to blend a little bit. Where like I
Hmm.
have people who only know my mainstream stuff, where it's like
Hmm.
super wholesome New England waspy porn. And then there's the people who know like the real stuff where I'm like getting electrocuted and stuff, where I'm like, what
Yep.
side do you know me from?
Yep. Yep.
Do you kind of have that same divide with your fans, I'm assuming, because you do also do more of the clip stuff as well as mainstream?
I think so. Yeah, I have a lot of fans that really don't know me. I think they just kind of have seen my stuff on like browsers or
Mm,
like they've seen me on Pornhub and like I think that's a lot of people that are, that I encounter are just kind of like they've seen a couple mainstream videos
yeah.
and or they've seen a few mainstream videos. Of course, like also when I started uh I had a lot of big tit content. And that's a lot more vanilla. Some of it was a lot more fetish. Some of it was a lot more vanilla. So some of my fans are very much in that sort of vanilla space, and they wander a little too far off the tracks, and they start messaging me on my messaging apps or something like that, and they're like, "You offer these other things?" Or I'll say like, "So like, what are you into?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
Like you got
one.
to give me, and they say like, I don't know, whatever. And I'm like, you're gonna have to give me more information than that
Yeah, I hate
because I
when people
offer a lot.
yeah, when people are like, I'm into everything, and I'm like, I have content that is no, you're not gonna be
You're
into.
not. Yeah, you're not into everything, I promise you.
Yeah.
I that's so funny. It's such a like clear sign to me that somebody is not that I'm gonna need to take a lot of control in an
Hmm.
interaction, whether it's like with a model on set or with a fan that wants to message or something like that. I'm like, okay, I need to use baby gloves. Like I need
Yeah.
to tone it down a little bit and proceed with extreme caution.
So, how old were you when you started porn?
I was 20.
Okay, same. Yeah.
You
That's
were 22?
yeah. Yeah,
Or not
yeah. I was
22, but
20
yeah.
when I started camming, and then I think porn was like shortly after because I was like, when you're like just first started doing camming and then you're like have a bad cam day, you're like, why don't I just film this on my own?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you just immediately started like filming not long after camming.
Yeah. Was it kind of the same for you?
I I liked camming. Yeah, I started filming not long after camming because
Yeah.
okay, when I started was around the same time that many vids was taking off, and I just really preferred that space to upload
Hmm.
and do stuff. Um, but oop, just sorry, give me a second.
You're totally
So
good. You're totally good.
my brain just
I can totally vamp for you. Yeah, so you were like camming for a while. Was that just like kind of whatever for you? Like at first, like,
oh, I I can, okay, I enjoyed camming and I think I did pretty well with camming, but I am so bad with schedules and
yeah.
consistency. And I was camming during that like MFC culture where it was really
Hmm.
cutthroat and if I don't know, I just think you had to be so good at schedules and consistency in order to cam. And I am not that person. Like I I have ADHD. I need to like have time to care about something for a while,
Hmm.
and then I peace out for 2 weeks. Like I need rest. I need to be excited about something. I need variety.
Yeah,
I cannot cam day after day after day. I just can't do it. And that's what you have to do in order to be
for
successful on
real.
those sites. So it was never for me. It was
Hmm.
it was never going to be for me. I like live performances and I like that kind of interaction, the live cam shows. I do enjoy it. And I'm lucky I've gotten to do some cool like camathon type things with
Hmm.
like a lot of models and like, where things were really fun in that way, but it's just never really made sense with my brain.
Yeah, it's really hard, just like the grind of it. I've been camming since like I started in the industry, and you just really have to be like, okay, this is gonna be this amount of time, and it is what it is. Like when you have like bad cam days over and over again, it makes you
Yeah.
feel fucking crazy because you're like, what am I doing?
Are you doing like chatterbait camming?
I
Streamate?
streamate, chatterbait
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. I originally moved out to California. I worked for Kink Live for I think like four
Mm.
years. Yeah, so I worked in the armory, which was a crazy first job.
That's
Like
so
it
cool.
was it was cool, but also like
But
uh
yeah,
they ran the company like a Silicon Valley company. So like they had everything in the building. So they're like, "Oh, we have
okay.
a place for you to sleep. We have a private chef here. We have an
That's so
open bar."
weird.
It's crazy, but like every tech company was doing that at the time in San Francisco. So they were mirroring
Okay.
that, but there was also like a BDSM dynamic throughout the entire building. So it was like
That has the
unreal.
potential to be so bad.
Yeah, I mean
That's a
like
nightmare. That could be a nightmare.
yes, like okay. I never had an anxiety attack until I worked in that building, but also I became like a way better porn performer because of working in that building. So it's like
That makes sense. That makes sense.
yeah, it's like the environment that would do that to you.
Yeah.
But that was like also a very strange experience because like when you did my free camps, I'm assuming you're doing it solo at home, right?
Mostly, yeah. Yeah.
So it's like a very different experience because you're going in and you're like have people you work with, quote unquote, even if you're doing solo camming. So it's like
Yeah.
a
That's
very different
weird.
experience. But oh, I don't know how we got on that, but we were talking about campsites. This is a little bit of this podcast that's just like talking about
Hmm.
everything in general. But yeah, so what was your like your transition from camming to actually doing porn?
Yeah. So I got reached out to by Scoreland.
Hmm.
I did my solos for Scoreland and then I did my hardcore for for Wood Rocket, and and that was really cool. And again, I auditioned for that role because I was really excited to play something to do something silly, and I'm really glad I did it because I never see parodies. I never get cast for parodies. I think that was maybe the only parody I've ever done. So I'm really glad that I auditioned for it. And then from there, I just would shoot for Scoreland. It was mostly just Scoreland for like a couple of years. Um, and then I was I got a call from Browsers because Angela White was saying that she wanted to work with thicker models. And
Mm.
so I was one of the people that they wanted to hire to because they were trying to diversify
That's
their
amazing though. That's like being called on
yeah,
like the active go to porn, being like, I need thicker
y-
models. And they're like, okay, get in there.
yeah, it was really cool. Actually, like it was really cool to get that call. And I remember getting that call and being like, this might like really take off my career. Like this has the potential
Yeah.
to be really big for me. And so um and yeah, after that I got called in as like uh a backup. Somebody had dropped out of a scene and I replaced them, and that scene was super viral. That scene was an ad scene, and it's honestly probably still one of my most popular scenes. It was really, really popular, and so that's where Browser started shooting me more, and then I, kind of had a lot more options after that. So yeah.
So what year did you get your first nominations?
Oh my gosh. I can't remember I can't remember the year that Wood Rocket scene came out, but it was really my only one from AVN. So after that I didn't because I mostly just did like browser scenes. I
Hmm.
didn't do a lot of like I th this was really my first year of doing features. Everything else has just been like cool porn videos, which I love to
Yeah.
do, and I've had some really cool ones and I really love them, but like I shot like movies this this year,
Yeah,
which
you
was really
did.
cool. I also like I did get I did have some nominations with the Why Not Cam Awards,
Hmm.
the Why Not
Oh yeah,
Awards.
that's where I think I first saw you because you were doing the sex worker organization in Vegas, right? You were doing
Yes,
donations.
Suede.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we were running donations for Suede because at that time uh Jay was my publicist,
Hmm.
and he was keen on having Suede raise money at the events and all that kind of stuff. So it was pretty easy for us to get in there and talk about Suede and do all that stuff. And then I also I won funniest model
Oh,
for Why
really?
Not? And
Oh, you have a why not camera? I have one back there too.
nice, yeah, yeah.
I
It's in my room, but
I'm like the way it ended made it feel a little less valuable, but
I will not talk about it.
it's so disappointing. Even when like all the boycotting happened, I was still like, I'm like, no, the models should take over. I'm like, it's about us, not them. And
It's
then everyone else was
it's
like, no.
I will say all I will say is that I really think Why Not the Cam Awards were the award show was really valuable, and
Hmm.
it was a good it sucks because I think that since we're speaking candidly, I
Yeah.
think that there are a lot of uh bad people that run the other award shows,
Yeah.
and at least at Why Not we had uh a lot more representation and celebration of lesser known performers
It felt
and indie performers that, don't work for the same uh, agent.
Yeah, I feel like it was like way more community based. That's what I felt more than anything, where I was like, oh wow,
Yeah.
this is actually like a sex worker community based vibe, as opposed to
Yeah.
this massive company owns this thing and is giving out trophies.
Yeah. 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 I have a lot of award hot takes. So
I mean, you're welcome to share them if you would like to.
I will,
Um,
I there's always this part of me that's like, "Yo, if you talk too much about it, you're not going to get awards." And I'm like, yeah, but awards are fake. I
yeah,
mean,
it's true.
But then I got nominated this year and I'm like, wow, this feels so good. I'm so excited. I need to do this. It's good for my career. It's like it's so stupid.
And there's like all these like crazy hot takes right now. Like you've seen the porn like discourse where it's like, well, what's a porn star? And like who can use that
Ugh.
term? And it's just
Ugh.
like, and then it's people being like, well, if you're not Angela White, Riley Reid, or Jenna Jameson, you're not a porn star. And it's like that would be like being like, you're not a pop star unless you're Taylor Swift or Beyonce. And it's like, that's
Yeah.
not what it is though. There's like all shapes and all sorts of
hmm
I
Yeah.
don't know.
If your fans call you a porn star, you're a porn star. You got,
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't, who cares?
Right, that's
I,
kind of my take too. I'm like, well, we're all like in this medium, and like that's just like a term. But then
yeah,
there's just so many. The
I, I
discourse right
think,
now in porn's crazy.
I think if you care too much about being a porn star, it shows to me like you're not, you're like, you could be like a girl's girl. You can be a
Yeah.
sex worker. Like, sex workers wouldn't give like don't care so
Yeah,
much about that shit.
yeah.
Like I'm a sex worker first, probably. I would say
Uh-huh.
I'm a sex worker. I do sex work and genuinely like there's almost nobody that's doing porn that isn't doing other forms of sex work.
For
Like
sure.
we're all doing it. We that's what we do. That's
Mm-hmm.
how else are you going to make a living? Like how could you make a living doing porn and
N
only porn?
No one's
Serious?
doing, I mean, unless you're like one of those girls in LA, and
And
even them, it's like debatable now.
yeah, I mean, like you'd have to be working constantly, and it would be really, honestly, it would be unwise. It would
Yeah.
be unwise to do nothing but porn because the second that you stop getting hired, you would lose your income. There's no longevity to it as far as like keeping content,
Mm-hmm.
like keeping residuals, and the pay it's good. But like if you're living in LA, and also if you're a porn star, you're paying for so much shit. Like
So much shit.
your hair, your makeup, your clothes, your nails,
Mm-hmm.
your like Botox, your filler, your all of your
Yeah.
cosmetics. Like it adds up, especially as you get older. You're gonna have to
Mm-hmm.
do that. I mean, you don't have to do that, but like it comes in if
Yeah, if you want
that's
to
your
like
bread and
keep up
butter.
in the game, like if you want to be
Yeah.
up for
Yeah.
performer of the year every year, whatever.
Yeah, if that's your thing, you're paying a lot for that. Like you have to be running an OnlyFans. You have to
Hmm.
be taking clients outside off camera, or you have to be sexting, or you have to be like you have to do all that stuff. Somebody you're doing some of it,
Yep.
probably. Eh, who cares? Also,
Yeah.
like I'm like I said in the beginning, I'm a fetish model. That's really like that's my niche.
Yeah.
I'll write porn star on things because I feel like I can claim it and it can be a draw sometimes.
Hmm.
But I'm a fetish model. That's my whole bag.
Yeah. Also, like, I don't know. I feel like when I meet other sex workers who do other kinds of sex work, I just like, I don't know if it's being from the Midwest personally, but I like can't imagine being like, well, I'm a porn star. I'm above you. It's like, that's not like, if I'm around strippers, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck yeah. I can relate. I'm being like, when you get like a text or something, or you have a great night and you're like, fuck yeah, I feel like on top of the world because I made this much money, you know? Or
Yeah.
vice versa, where it's like, I've been on cam for 3 hours and I made like $12. Like, what the fuck am I doing with my life, you know?
Yep, yep. It's true. There are a lot of forms of sex work that are, in my opinion, way more impressive and lucrative. Like,
Yeah.
I think that in this day and age, the only thing you're really getting as a porn star is the fame.
Yeah.
And fame is a double-edged sword. It's
Hmm.
not something that you should it's not all good. In fact, a lot of it is pretty bad,
Hmm.
especially when you're famous for being a sex worker. Um, it's like you have to be really careful with how you use that sort of power. And you can make a lot of money, of
Hmm.
course, but like you can also make a lot of money working at a brothel, and nobody's
Yep.
going to know you. You can still walk around your town without being recognized. You can still like it's different, and you don't have to take your work home with you. It's there. Like you go to
Yeah.
the brothel. Like I live in Nevada, so I know people who just take a week every couple months to go work at the brothel. They come
Yep.
home, they don't work. They don't have to work. Or you've got these girls that work in the strip clubs and like the way that the skill required to hustle at strip clubs is
Hmm.
crazy. Like porn stars could never. I mean,
No,
some
not
of
at
them could.
all.
So I mean, obviously some of them are strippers and they
Yeah.
get it, you know? Like they really get it. I could never. I know I'm
I
not cut
can't do
out.
stuff with people. Like, if I don't like somebody, like, I mean, there's like
Mm-hmm.
porn I don't like,
Mm-hmm.
like, you'll get like someone be like, I want to cast you with this person. You look at their Twitter and you're like, oh, yeah, that's fine, whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not like the idea of like having to fake something with someone and try to fool them into thinking you genuinely like them.
Mm-hmm.
Horrific. I can never.
Yeah. Yeah, I so for the film that was nominated for Best Supporting Actress,
Hmm.
which was Single-Minded, it was for Digital Playground. My co-star, who was like the main star, was Sinatra Monroe, and
Hmm.
I just remember talking with her, and she was like, "God, I wish." That I was around for like the 90s and the 2000s when you could
So true.
just be a porn star. Like when all you had to do was just go on camera and be a slut. And she was like, I would have killed. Like,
It
you
would have
know,
been it would have been
it's
so
such a
great.
pain to like all of the social media and everything. Like there's a type of performer that all they had to do was just show up. I mean, not all they had to do. They did a very impressive job, but like the whole work was be a porn star,
Porn
and that
star, yeah.
job is mostly gone.
It's so sad. Like I understand it was only like porn back then was like 300 people maybe. It was like very
Yeah.
limited on who could be a porn star, but like people
Hmm.
were millionaires off of just doing porn.
Yeah.
And
I
like
know.
I've had girls come on this podcast. Like I had Soya on this podcast, and when I first got into the industry, she's like one of my heroes, like her and Sasha
So
Grey.
cool.
Obsessed with like even when so Soya is like a friend of mine now, which is crazy because every time I talk to her, I'm just like you are like the biggest deal in the world to me, and that you know my name is insane. Like I can't. But I was like, oh, like you were making big porn money back then because everyone was like, oh yeah. I don't know if you like knew about her contract deal with Digital Playground back then.
Mm-mm.
So like when I got into porn like 2013, everyone was like, she's such a great porn performer. She's paid essentially not to have sex because she only did like 3 scenes a year, right? And they like did that on purpose. And she was in a 5-year contract. But everyone in porn was like, yeah, she's making a 250,000 a year. And I had her on. I was like, yeah, I heard you're like making real big money. And she's like, no, that was over 5 years. I was getting paid $50,000 a year. I'm like, that's so fucking
No.
different,
That's wildly different.
you know? And like, but the way everyone viewed her in
Yeah.
the industry was like, oh, wow, you have a over $1 million contract to essentially not have sex with people.
Yeah, that's really different.
Yeah. And it's just like, I think so interesting, like, even 10 years ago what porn was and like that there were these contract models who on the surface level it was like wow you're the top of the industry and they're still only getting paid like 50K compared to 20 years ago when people were literally making millions and had houses and boats and all this crazy shit from just doing porn.
Yeah. It's just a lot. The money's just not there anymore. Thanks, internet. We just don't, you know, it, it it only existed for a little while. So now, I don't know, holding the porn star title, it seems kind of silly because what are you making? That's like my thing is like, okay, yeah, but like you don't make as much as like this girl who's nobody knows who she is, but she makes bank on OnlyFans. Like you don't know, like
For
you're
real.
just like it's or who makes bank at the brothel or at the strip club, like these okay. Like, do you think about it with like the brothel and stuff?
Hmm.
Or just doing full service in general, like how much we do in a porn scene during one day because it's all like there's you have to be, a lot of times for I live in Vegas, I have to fly a lot. I
Hmm.
usually have to travel to get to where I'm going. I am shooting for the full day often, especially if there's like acting involved, which is
Yeah.
fun and I'm excited to do it. I want to do those kinds of scenes, but it's a full day. with makeup. Sometimes I get prosthetics. Sometimes like it's really involved. Sometimes
Hmm.
the it's kind of grueling. You have to have the sex portion is when it's even when it's fun, it's fucking like half an hour,
Yeah, for
40
sure.
minutes with somebody with like a huge dick in in acrobatic positions. Like you
Under
are
like hot
exerting
lights.
yourself under hot lights.
Yeah.
You're like it is work and you have to
Hmm.
think about what your body looks like the whole
Hmm.
time. You're thinking about how the camera's picking you up. You're thinking about how you feel, how your co-star feels, but also like how you look, how you move, making sure that like everything looks good, that everything is exciting, that there's constant motion because like the truth is nobody's watching the whole thing. They're like clicking around, they're trying
Yeah.
to find their spot. So you need to make sure every spot feels like an important spot for fucking half an hour and sometimes more. And then you get paid like $1,000.
It is so crazy,
And
like that's still the rates in porn. That's like, ugh.
I yeah, maybe 1,200. And
Yeah,
then
that's like a good payday in porn, which is so crazy.
or you could go to the brothel and you could have some guy who's so excited to see you. He
Hmm.
is got an incredibly normal to smaller penis. He he is going to have you lay down and not move. He's going to pump into you for 5 minutes, come and then tell you about his life for
Yep.
an hour, and you'll make twice that. I don't know. I
It's
mean, not necessarily, but like that's not always the case.
yeah,
Obviously, it's a
it's
very
a real
different kind of
thing.
work. But there's like something to be said about like how much work we put in for $1,000. Like it's a really long day to be.
Yeah, it's so hard for me to get like I I used to shoot more boy girl when I like first got into the industry. I was like, I'm mostly a dyke in my real life, but I'm like, okay, if it's for porn, I understand it. I like it aesthetically and stuff. But like now, like when I talk to my wife, I'm like, I don't know if there's $1,000 that's gonna get me on a plane to go to LA to have sex with a man. Like it's so high now where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm like,
Yeah. And it's like, it's good publicity.
it
It
is.
depends on the scene, it depends on the company. That's why I'm very selective about who I shoot for because my rate is not enough.
Hmm.
It's the publicity that I
Yeah.
use to sell fetish porn because that's my actual bag. That's my real work is doing
Yeah.
fetish porn and being an online model. So that's the point. But like so okay, you're a porn star. Congratulations. You're working way harder. You're gaining notoriety, which can be good, but
Yeah,
also can be bad. You're gonna get stalkers, you're gonna get outed, you're gonna get hate,
for
like you're gonna
sure.
get all that shit, and you're gonna get paid less than you would if you were a prostitute. So I don't know. You could just do full service.
I love that we
Just
are
saying.
this is like I love that this is a place that we can have like conversations about porn that are also like if you try to talk to like a any sort of press about this sort of topics, they'd be like, porn's evil, porn's awful. And it's like,
Yeah,
no, I love the medium. Like, I deeply love it,
I
but like,
love
this is a
porn.
reality of it. Like, you're
I
not doing it for the bag if you're just in porn.
it's true. You have to be a real, like, you have to really love film. You have to really love,
Yeah,
like, media and performance. And I think that's one of the things that makes porn performers so cool. They really have a love of the game.
yeah.
But it's funny. Like, if you're standing outside the club and you're looking into porn and you're going, God, I wish I was her. Don't. It's like, yeah, there's plenty to gain, but like you don't need to be a famous performer or in
No.
mainstream porn. Also, I think that AI is going to replace a lot of mainstream porn productions in a few years.
I
I
think
just don't think
everything.
that. I just don't think. Yeah, I think like AI porn is not going to replace, you know, like like person to person type
Hmm.
sex work, online sex work, indie sex work with real bodies and amateur sex work. I think
Hmm.
all that's going to still be around, but I think studio porn is really on the chopping block.
I mean, I if you could like have any historical porn star and they have the AI version of them and you could have that happen in a way where I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if we can get like peak Jenna Jameson and like peak Sasha Grey in a scene together, I'm probably gonna check it out. Like,
Mm-hmm. I
like,
think okay, you worked for King. So you've worked for big companies.
yeah,
Like, all right. I just think that if you look at the studios, and the vast majority of them are already running like fairly small margins,
very, yeah,
and they are pumping out content. Like they have to make bulk content, a lot of
so
it,
much.
and it all basically is the same shit. It's like very much like so cookie cutter. It's so the same thing over and over again,
Hmm.
and it doesn't like it's some of it is already being procedurally generated as far as like the topics, like
Hmm.
a lot of they say like a lot of the browser scripts are like based on like Pornhub search terms. um I don't know how true that is, but definitely feels that way. There are definitely just like random things they put in there to make it sell. Like I don't know, like just small moments just to put it in an ad and put it online. Um, and I think that while I'm sure that there will still be studio porn, I just think that there will be a lot of it will start to be replaced by AI once AI is at the point where it can replicate studio porn.
Hmm.
And I mean, it's gotta happen. I
It's
just,
gonna happen.
oh,
It's gonna happen, and like that's like the whole entertainment industry, though. Like,
yeah,
I fully appreciate like mainstream porn, and I'm not one of those people who's like,
I love
actually,
it.
only indie porn's real porn. Like, I hate that
No,
bullshit.
I
I hate that
love
shit.
mainstream porn.
But I feel like there's a level of like things like Bang Bros, browsers, and stuff. It's so like out there, so in such a way where it's almost like the Amazon or Walmart of porn, where it's like they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
use all the tools in their
Yep.
possibility from AI, whatever else, to make the most amount of money. And that's why those companies exist. And it's like
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen. And it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a whole weird thing. But then there's also like all these really interesting directors, like the movie that you were in, Escape from Conversion Camp with Bree Mills.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, or was it Casey Kelver? I'm so sorry if I mistake that.
It's Bree and Casey, I believe.
Okay, it's both. Okay, cool.
I don't
Or
remember
like
specifically what roles I like what their credits were, but Bree and Casey directed it.
that makes me feel a lot better that it's
I
also
I
you're not
should I
100%
should
sure.
do I should see what the credits say so that I can speak on it appropriately. But it was a joint effort between the two of them for
Hmm.
sure.
But like I think Ricky Greenwood and like also like what Susie Q and Michael Vegas are doing, like I think mainstream porn has been elevated to such a good place now and like there's so much artistic elements behind it where when I got into porn, directors were just kind of guys who own cameras.
Hmm.
And it feels like it's moving in like the right direction, but I also feel like the other mainstream side, like Bang Bros or browsers, is eventually just gonna be AI in some capacity, whether it's the script writing, whether it's going to be how they make the stuff, whether it's actually having AI models in it someday. Like it feels like
Yeah,
that part of porn is always going to be moving towards profit.
yeah. I have I have I agree with that. I think, I think there's always going to be their stars. Like, I think browsers will keep their contract stars
Hmm.
and still have mainstream stuff because I like browsers as a company. I think that they have models' interests in mind for the most part, but also I just don't think how could they pass it up? Like, I just don't
For
think any of
sure.
these companies are going to pass it up at least in part.
Hmm.
And as long as they have it in part, there's going to be less scenes. Like there's going to be less. I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong because I do really like studio porn, but studio porn is the most replaceable, I think, by AI.
Yeah.
And That's my hot take. I liked what you said about how we can have this kind of candid conversation about porn without
Yeah.
it being like porn bad. It's like that meme with the philosophers, and you're talking about porn with porn stars
Yeah.
versus talking about porn with regular people. As
Yeah.
you can
It
get into so many more weeds with it.
Yeah, I think it's like because I also feel like there's the opposite side where like I've been on porn podcasts before where they're so upset with anyone who criticizes porn at all. Like, I'm all for porn stars talking about their experiences. Like, the girls who leave the industry are like, fuck this industry, I don't like it. I think their voices are
Mm,
still valid. You know what I mean?
hmm.
Like, I've heard a lot of people get really mad at Mia Khalifa, and I'm like, if that was her experience in this industry, that's her experience. Like, I don't feel like it's my job to be the protector of porn and be like, you only can say positive things about it. So I'm like, I have negative things to say about it in some capacities too, but also it was this tool that got me out of really difficult situations in my life, and got me into a more stable position. I feel like it's a lot of people's way out.
Yeah, it's important in that regard. It's like I was I made that mistake of getting involved in discourse, but about, how is porn empowering? How is it empowering? I think
Hmm.
we forget that the word empowering includes financial empowering. Like it is
Yeah.
literally like I think we're stuck on this idea of feminism being this like women feel good. This feels good for girls. This feels good for women. Women feel equal, things like that. And we have forgotten that feminism came out of women can't have a credit card.
Yep.
Women are paid less. Women are financially dependent on
Hmm.
their husbands. Um, I think that like the financial dependence of women on men is a big part of our subjugation. And
Hmm.
so like I think sex work is I mean, I don't have any data to back this up, but I would guess that sex work is probably like the number one transfer of wealth from men to women and especially from men to queer people.
Hmm.
And maybe that's empowering. Maybe that's like how people get out of abuse and how people escape all kinds of bad situations and find independence and financial independence. And like, yeah, so that's my
Yeah,
take.
I completely agree. I don't think there's any other medium that I would have seen the world in my 20s or had all these experiences as a queer trans woman. Like that just like wasn't really a thing. Like I don't think that would be possible in music. I don't think that'd be possible in sports. I don't think that'd be possible in film. It's just not
Mm-mm.
really a thing. And sex work is this thing that's a way out for a lot of people, especially marginalized people. I think it's something we
Yeah.
don't really talk about. And that's another reason I want this narrative because I'm like going into AVN, there's all these stories that people have, like yours, where it's like you had success when you did your first hardcore scene, you got nominated, and now 10 years later, you're in another breakthrough movie. And now you're nominated for all this stuff. And it's like if this was the Olympics or like the Grammys, there'd be all these narratives around that. You know what I mean? But we
Yeah.
don't get that because the way the media looks at what we do, even though we're doing super athletic things that takes years of work and years of practice that most people just kind of overlook. And they're like, oh, you're just having sex. And it's like, that's really not what it is.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. That's a really cool way of looking at it.
Yeah, this is what this is all for. I'm like, as much as I can hype up other performers, because I'm like, what we're all doing is so special. And like, even getting nominated, you're part of this lineage from like 40 years ago, where 40, I think it's the 44th AVN Awards, that there's all these sex workers from
Yeah.
the early 80s. Like, there's been more AVN Awards than there have been Olympics. Like, it's
That's,
crazy to think about that because
yeah.
we don't think about our industry in that way.
Yeah, we don't. We really
So,
don't. And
so,
oh,
oh no, you
you go
go on
ahead.
first. No, you go on. I'm sorry.
So uh, I recently wanted to start getting into doing stuff behind the camera,
Hmm.
and it's not like I don't do that all the time with my, you know, my fetish
Hmm.
model type stuff and making my content, and then I did this feature for Digital Playground, which was Single-Minded, and it was so cool. That was directed by Marvin Love, who is one of my favorite directors to work with. He's so lovely and he runs such a great set that feels so positive and fun. And that was one of that, like, it was a really, there were so many people on that set. Like, there were so many things. It took us a week to shoot it. We had all these moving parts, all these locations, all these extras, we had like somebody whose whole job was continuity. Like, it really
Love
felt like a
that.
movie set. It was fucking cool. And I remember, like, I talked a lot to the crew about it, and it was through that I was like, I really want to, like, start doing crew stuff. Like, this would be really fun. I want to direct. I want to do.
Hmm.
I feel ready for that kind of thing. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a few film classes at my university. So I went to go take some film classes at the university, and it took me a while because I had to take these like prerequisites or whatever. And so I started taking the more serious film classes. I realized that I had massive imposter syndrome and that I really already knew what I was doing.
Hmm.
I really was like, I don't know the names for these things. I don't know what this is called. I don't know the lingo. And I did learn a lot, but one of the big things I learned was that my work in porn was really important and that I had more experience than a lot of people that were around me. And I knew what I was doing. And I had that. I just needed to believe in myself and
Hmm.
understand that, like, this feels like a gate kept space and porn feels like outside of that gate kept
Yeah.
space. Like, it's not like the same thing, but it is. It takes the same
Yeah.
kind of work. It's just that we get to make garbage, which is something that they don't get to do. And I think that's actually really valuable because it means that we get to practice. It means that, like, I can show up with a camera that I didn't pay a lot of money for and not really know what I'm doing, and I can find something to shoot and something to edit and something to light. And I
Hmm.
like there's always, and I'm gonna even get paid for it. I don't have to do it just to learn. I can actually get paid while I'm learning. I can look at my old content from when I started in the industry, and I look at it now. I'm like, Jesus, I shot that with a webcam. Like, it's it's
Yeah.
rough, you know. And then I look at, like, but I still made money off of it, and
Hmm.
now I can make content that's like way better produced, and I'm only doing it alone. Now I can start to make stuff with other people, and it's really cool. It's really cool, and I definitely underestimated how much I knew already because I had it in my head that I just do porn. But I've been doing porn for 10 years. I've been self-producing for 10 years. I've been editing for 10 years. I've been shooting for 10 years. I might not be in a formal education setting or working for mainstream features or anything like that, but I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
For sure. Because it's like the real DIY thing, especially like now in porn. You can make a movie on your iPhone and have it get nominated for an AVN. Like it's just so
Yeah.
different than it used to be, where there used to be this huge barrier that even to like be in that room, you have to be spending, 10 grand on a
Mm-hmm.
camera. And now it's just
Mm-hmm.
like if you really want to make work, you can do it. I think like
Yeah.
that's really the magical thing about porn, I think now, and especially like the whole rise of the whole like content collab sort of thing where it's like there's people that move to Vegas every week and they're like, I'm gonna try to become a porn star, and you can now.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, you can now. You can just do
When
it.
when I had Story on, I like told her about that and she's like, that's terrifying. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, there's just people moving to Vegas every week and they're like, I'm gonna be a porn star. And she's like, what do you mean though? I'm like, yeah, you can just go there and try to
Just make your
yeah.
content, make collabs, do your thing. Yeah.
So I have a few
Yeah.
final questions for you. Thank
Hmm.
you so much for coming on. I feel like we went into such deep areas, and this is
I
like
really
literally what's for.
I really enjoyed talking to you. You had some really great
Yeah.
questions. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So when was your last AVN, and how do you feel going into this year being nominated?
I've never actually been to the award show.
Are you going?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is your first AVN. Oh my God, I did not expect this to be a first AVN
Yeah.
conversation. How excited are you? Are you excited? Are you nervous?
I I'm excited. I'm very excited. I have never I hear it's a long wait before the awards show, and
Yes,
that's
it
something that
is.
I'm not looking forward to. I'm definitely a homebody and I hate wearing heels. And so I'm gonna have to go out there in my heels and try my hardest to be comfortable for the entire duration. But I am I think I am not sure yet if I'll be at a table with a company. I think I'll be at a table with adult time, I'm hoping. And if that's the case, I'm really, really excited about that because
Cute.
I fucking love the adult time people. I
Hmm.
everybody that I work with there, I really enjoy being around. So I know that they'll make it really fun. And also, I recently had cosmetic surgery, so I have to wear a full coverage bra and be careful about how I about my clothes. So I'm like nervous about trying to figure out what to wear. I don't know what to wear.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like so AVN, I feel like there's three directions people go. Some people like
Mm-hmm.
really do full like formal, like they're going to the
Mm-hmm.
Oscars, full coverage. Like you can totally do that. That's totally fine if you are especially after having to cover up more. There's some
Mm-hmm.
girls who go like full slut who are like, I'm in a porn award show. I need to show this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then there's people like Susie and Michael who like make an art project and they're like, we have a concept. So you can
Yeah.
really like pick your direction, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm working on it. Working on it because I care about that kind of stuff. I love fashion. I love clothes. I don't want to be, but I can't. There's so much I can't wear. And then there's the I'm worried about um the dress code.
Okay. I mean, if you like don't have a nipple out or your butt out, I think you're okay.
Cool.
Like, I've seen some people get hassled for stuff, but like, I would say it's mostly like, oh, put on pasties or something.
Yeah,
Because there's a lot of people who do like sheer tops and are like, oh, it's fine. But then
that's
the
pretty cool.
casino's like, it's not fine.
Yeah, yeah. I heard a lot of people got in trouble for just like cleavage last year. So I don't know. But
It's a sketchy situation. It's like more the people who are like plus size they're like trying to police than smaller bodies and
that
like
sucks.
you get into all of that. I think like the most amazing thing about AVN, have you even been to the convention?
Oh, yes,
Oh,
definitely.
okay, okay. So you
Yeah.
like know how vast it is, like how the
Yeah.
world of porn's so much bigger than you
It's
can
really
imagine.
overwhelming. It's really overwhelming. AVN is very overwhelming,
Yeah.
overstimulating for me. I definitely go and I enjoy myself, but sometimes I go and I don't enjoy myself. So
I feel like it's like Pride. I'm like after Pride weekend, I'm like that was amazing, but I'm very glad it's not for another year. Like I
yep.
need time.
I did Venus in Berlin this year and it was
How was
wonderful.
that?
Wonderful. Full nudity. They had sex shows. They had people giving tattoos in the expo. It was so cool.
That's how it should be. It's
It
like
was so cool.
I was literally saying to my partner last year, I'm like, isn't it crazy that we have everyone who's the best in the world at having sex here, and they're like, no sex,
hmm
and no nudity. It's
No
like, what
sex, no
is this
nudity. Don't
weird?
do it. Yeah, yeah, no. Venus was amazing. You just, I don't know. I loved Venus. I loved every minute I was at Venus. It was wonderful.
I really wish we had like some theaters for actually screening the porn.
Yeah.
Because like in Europe, they have all these porn film festivals like all over the
Yeah.
and like I love doing those. I love being able to be like, "Oh, I can see the other films that are like in a program with mine," or like having just a screening of your own and being like, "Oh wow, I can actually talk to people about it afterwards." You
Have
know.
you have you heard of Hump?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, cool. Me and Summer Hart were talking about that because she brought it up to me this year. She was like, we should submit something that we
You
shot for
should.
there. So we did. She ended up having something go in, and so she's got something that's circulating for next year, and we're gonna definitely shoot something for Hump. I think at the end of the year. I'm really excited about that. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool festivals in Europe too that you should definitely just submit towards. Yeah, I had my public disgrace screen last year in Amsterdam, and they had a therapist there for the crowd afterwards because they're like, it's very
Whoa.
extreme, and I'm like, guys, I'm here, I'm fine, I didn't die, I'm all right. And then one question was like, the Dom was so mean to you, did that hurt your feelings? I'm like, that's kind of what this is about, though, right? I'm not like
Oh,
taking it personally when they're like yelling at
that's
me.
that's such a sweet question.
Yeah,
That's a really funny question.
yeah.
I'm glad that whoever asked that question now knows the answer.
Yeah, I'm like, it's okay. There's also another girl who is like, I used to be disgusted by gangbang scenes, but now I'm kind of into it. I'm like, all right.
You got a
It
convert.
was a cis woman, so I'm like, I guess my market has expanded where I'm like, now I'm letting cis women have fantasies.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's
right.
very beautiful.
It's
That's
evolving as an
porn.
artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have one final question. So let's
Yes.
say you win Best Supporting Actress, AVN Saturday. What's the celebration plan after? Do you have a plan? Like the look
No,
on your face. This is only an audio media, but like the look of shock on your face, like it never even occurred to you.
it never occurred to me. No, I fully do not intend to win that award.
I don't think anyone does.
I
I'm
can't even.
like,
I, my problem is that I get too competitive. I need to tell myself that I will not win. Otherwise, I will get disappointed if I lose. And also, to be fair, there are so many girls I really like that are up for Best Supporting
who
Actress.
else is up in your category?
I'm gonna pull up the list so that
Okay.
I don't fuck it up. Um, but like it's a really good. There were a lot of good performers
It
in
is really
there.
crazy when you're up for a category and you look over at the other nominees and you're like, they should literally be in the Hall of Fame someday. And I'm
Hmm.
like, I would like the trophy, but like that girl's won 50 AVN. She should probably win 50, number 51.
Yeah, if I won Best Supporting, see, it's almost here. I almost have it. So, so the list is Penny Barber, Christy
Oh my
Canyon,
God.
Anna Claire Clouds, Ellie Clutch, Charlie Ford, Nicole Kitt, Sinatra Monroe, Little Puck, Chloe Surreal, and
Wow.
myself. I I have worked with a lot of these performers, not all of them, but like I I want Little Puck to win everything that she could ever win, personally.
She's like has is just like such a chameleon. What
I
she's
love
done in
her.
especially the last few years, I feel like she's like the Doja Cat of porn that she can be anything and do
Whoa.
anything. And it's just
Yeah.
like so cool to see because she's been in the industry for a while too, and it's just like really had this peak. But like I think it's also this thing that you're talking about that you're like, I didn't get a lot of nominations until 10 years in. And for me this year, this is the most nominations I had since I was like 24, where it's like you can have
Congrats.
things where you can have these things though that you're working like for 10 years in the industry and then it like pops again and you're like, "Oh, I'm up for multiple awards, you know, where for
Yeah.
a while you're like, oh, maybe one year, maybe not this year, you know, like I think it really
Hmm.
says like how porn isn't just like you get it at 18, 19, win your awards and
Yeah.
then you disappear, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. And okay, yeah. Lil Puck, Sinatra Monroe, who was the main star in the one that I'm up for, Single
Hmm.
Minded. Um, she's up for Best Supporting Actress for another thing. I loved working with her. She was wonderful. I love Chloe Surreal. She's
Hmm.
wonderful. Charlie Ford is up for Escape from Camp Conversion, which is the other one that I was in. I am just looking at the list and I'm like, there's so many. It'd be hard for me to be upset about about a
For
lot of these
real,
people winning.
like
Like they're really good. I do really, really hope that we win for best what's that one called?
Grand Rail.
Oh yeah. Well,
Are,
I was gonna
are
say
you up?
for the no, I was gonna say for best foursome orgy scene
Oh, okay.
because that was for the bottom floor, the second coming.
Oh, we
And
just had someone else. I just interviewed someone else right before on this who
oh,
was in it.
who?
Gray Perrier.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah. Because I just think the bottom floor is like honestly the most important thing that I was in all year.
It's so fucking cool.
I think it's like just so truly beautiful and wonderful. And Lil Puck was in the star of that one too. So, but I just think it's such a beautiful piece of art. I it's probably I really do think it maybe is like a career highlight for me. Like it's just like
Yeah.
I didn't like headline or anything. I just kind of showed up and fucked people, which is exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think in the midst of everything with legislation and with like the whorephobia and the queer phobia, I think that any opportunity you get to have like radical queer sex is a huge celebration
Hmm.
and it felt like that it was real fucking it was really real and so many of us in the same space. It felt magical. Like there's like a kind of like magical energy there. And everybody was so kind and obviously Susie Q and Michael Vegas,
Amazing. Yeah.
fantastic directors. And it's really this is like their project, this is their vision.
Yeah.
And I understand why they're doing it because like I've been to sex parties and I love sex parties. But a lot of them are they're hit or miss,
Hmm.
they can be a little sketchy. And part of that is, the safety element of it is really important. And this just felt so safe.
Hmm.
I felt, it's crazy when when you can really, really let go sexually in a room of 60 people. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. It's great.
I
It's
I love
beautiful.
that like people are kind of picking the best scenes and best concepts off the carcass of kink.com. Like that Susie did
Yeah.
that and made that super
Yeah.
queer. Princess
Yeah.
Donna came back to porn who created Public Disgrace and we made a trans inclusive Public Disgrace scene.
Hmm.
And I'm like that, yeah, I was the first ever
Yeah.
trans sub on that, and that was like it
Oh,
took 14 months of fucking planning. It was so fucking crazy.
that's insane.
But
That is
like that,
so cool.
yeah, it's my career like highlight. I'll stand on a table being like, everyone needs to look at this. But like that, there's people kind of taking all these concepts that were maybe not done in the most ethical way or not the most consensual way, where it's they were definitely having these conversations with like the main performers, but when I worked at the Armory, it was more, oh, the upper floor is going on. We have an open bar. We have
Hmm.
food up there. If you want to come up and have sex with someone on camera, we're not going to pay you, but you can drink as much as you
Hmm.
want. Which, like, when you're
Mm.
21 years old, though, that sounds like a perfect deal.
That sounds like a blast.
Right? But when you're now,
Yeah.
like, looking back, you're like, I gave a lot of free performances for champagne, basically, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so
Yeah. And you can't really do that with alcohol present anymore.
no. So I
That's
think it's just
not,
like so good what Susie and Michael are doing. And yeah, Susie's like always been like my porn big sister. Like she was the
yeah.
first person to interview me about porn when I was like literally 22. She was at my wedding. Like she's the
Oh.
fucking best.
She's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, I I I really hope that they make a third one. I really hope that they get to make a third one. It's so cool. It's such a
I
cool project. I just want to be there again. I just want to go there every year. I want every year to be able to go to the bottom floor. That's all. That's
I
what I want
I
for my
I
porn career. That if that's the
I
only scene I get to do, that's what I want to do.
I'm not trying to break news, but I think they're doing a third one. Yeah. Yeah. Because Susie's like, you have to be in the next one. And I was like, wait, that means that you're doing another one?
Yes. Oh, I really hope so.
Yeah, right. It's just like such a cool concept. And also like
Mm-hmm.
that and like Public Disgrace, I always thought were like the hottest fucking porn. And
Mm-hmm.
that it was like
Hot.
being done by a company that was like so wanting to be straight and stuff. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of bait and switch when I got here where I was like, wait, that's only for straight
Mm-hmm.
people? Why can't we make it all gay?
Why can't we make it all gay?
Right?
What could possibly go wrong? What's is Come on, you can't make another one? You can't make a gay one? You can't
You
do
can't
the
make a
same
gay
thing
one.
for gay? Why not?
Yeah.
What's wrong with
You can't
that?
have a trans girl get fisted in the ass. Why not? You know,
Oh my
like.
God. It's so, I love the bottom floor because I got to go in a room with a bunch of co-stars that I've already worked with,
Hmm.
but where we had specific thing to shoot. You know, you work with a
Yeah.
trans model and they're supposed to fuck you and you do,
Hmm.
and I got to fuck her. And I, you know, like we got to like have the kind of
Yeah.
sex we wanted to have. Like, I love it when I can get a reaction out of my co-star when I can tell they're really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I love that shit. So it's really fun to be able to just go and do that. Like that's the focus. Like
I want to
it's
see like
cool.
porn performers doing what they really want to do because we're like the best at having sex and we should probably do what we're best at, right? Like
Yeah,
that's just my take, but thank you so much for coming on. This has been fucking amazing. I feel like
I'm
we've covered
enjoying
so
this.
many
Yeah.
topics, positive
Yeah.
things about porn, negative things about porn, the future of AI dooming mainstream
Mm-hmm.
porn. Where
Yeah.
can everyone find you on all the apps? What's your website? Plug anything you
Yes.
want.
Oh, God. You can go to so CodiFans.com will redirect you to my like all my links so you can see that.
Linktree, yeah.
CODIFANS.com. I'm CODIVORE, Cody Vore. And you can pretty much find me anywhere. I'm like official Cody Vore on Instagram. I'm Cody_Vore on Twitter. I think I'm Cody.Vore on TikTok. And Cody Vore. I'm Cody Vore on Blue Sky, and I'm on OnlyFans. I'm on Minx and Sext Panther. I'm on Clips for Sale. I'm on ManyVids. I'm on Loyal Fans because I have to be on
You have to be on
everything.
fucking all of them.
I have to be on everything. If you're on Pornhub, just type my name in the bar. That helps us a lot. When you do that, it improves our rank on there. And for some reason, companies really care about our rank. So on Pornhub, that's one of the reasons that they hire us. Uh, yeah. So those are, yeah, you can find me in those places. I post the most probably on Clips for Sale, ManyVids, and OnlyFans because those are where I have the most customers. And I make a lot of like safe for work content on Instagram. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck at AVN,
Thank
and
you.
hopefully you get to your
You
whole
too.
celebration plan. Thank you.
Thank you. I will.
Bye, everyone.